Okay, in this lesson I'm going to show you how to make a paper sculpture of a lizard. And it will move all around if you do it correctly. So first you need a large piece of construction paper, and you're going to fold it in half the long way. Now you need a very long ruler, and you need to place one end of the ruler at one corner, and you go diagonally across the paper. It might not reach all the way, but just try to line it up, and you're going to make a line. And then I'll just continue that line. Now you're going to cut this piece of paper diagonally. It doesn't have to be perfect when you cut it. And you're going to save these scraps because you're going to use them to make the head and the legs of your lizard. This is the body. It starts out with a long, skinny triangle. Now the tricky part is to fold the edges of the triangle to the center fold. It's hard when you get down to the tail, so do it a little bit at a time, and then do it to the other side. So it's almost like you're starting a paper airplane. Just keep working your way down the fold. It might take a little bit of practice to get that fold even. Crease it really, really good with your fingers. Now I'm going to open this up, and I have a middle fold and two side folds. I'm going to fold it again the way I started on the middle fold. And then I'm going to make cuts into the folded side, not into the edges. I'm going to leave a little space for the head, maybe about as long as my finger. Then I'm going to cut, and I have to cut a little bit past the fold. I'm going to keep cutting like this, all the way down, but be careful when you get to the tail because you don't want to go too far and cut the tail off. So I have one that I already finished, and I cut it all the way along. The skinnier the cuts, the more bendy it will be. You can make them any size you want. Then I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put glue all along one of these sides, as far down to the tail as I can. I'm going to fold this one on top of the other one. Now you may have to stick your hand inside. One thing you could do is use the ruler. Stick the ruler inside, and then you can press against the ruler to get that to stick. Hold it all the way down along the edge. So I'm holding the ruler in, and I'm using my hands to press down to make it stick. Might be tricky though at the end. When I get down to the end, just bend that more, and just work your way. You could stick your fingers in between the cuts too to help pinch that tight. Alright, it's going to take time. You have to pinch it and wait until it sticks. Take my ruler out. And it will bend like this if you did it correctly. If you did not cut past the folded line, it will not bend correctly. And you might have to open up your glue and cut a little bit more. Now once I'm done with that, I'm going to take my scraps of paper, and I'm going to make the head of my lizard. I need to use this to measure, so I'm going to stick the pointy part inside, and I'm going to make the head a little wider than I think I need. So I'm going to start a little bit on the outside edge, and I'm going to draw a U shape. And I'm going to end a little bit wider on the other side. Then I'm going to cut that out. Okay, now to make this head three-dimensional, you want it to curve around. You're going to make a little cut right where the point is, and you're going to put a couple of dots of glue there, and you're going to crisscross this a little bit on top of each other. Doesn't need to be too much. You got to hold it tight till it sticks, and then you can get rid of this extra paper. Then I'm going to take my glue, going to stick some dots of glue. I'm going to join the top of the lizard's head onto the body right there, and I'm going to have to hold it down until it sticks. You can't just press it on and say, I'm done. You have to hold it. Alright, it should be on there. Oh, not quite. It's getting there, just nice and tight I'm holding. I think it's there. Then he needs a bottom jaw, so I'll use another scrap of paper. Maybe this piece is big enough. And I'll stick it in there, and I'll look to see how big the bottom jaw is. Not as big as the top jaw. So I'm going to put that in there and draw a curved line, and then I'll look at it. It's a little crooked, but as I cut it, I'll fix it. And that one you don't have to curve. You just put some glue on, stick it inside, and press it down. Okay, so now I have, oh, my top part came apart. That's not good. Might have to put a temporary piece of tape on that until it sticks good. Alright, I'll have to squirt some more glue under there and hold it on again. Okay, I already made a couple of the back legs, and I'm going to make the front legs pretty much the same way, and I need 2 of them, so I'm going to fold my paper in half so I get them 2 exactly the same. And then I'm going to use this whole size because you don't want to make them too small. I'm going to draw a U shape. I don't know if you can kind of see it. And then I'm going to make the U shape get a little skinnier, and then at the end I'm going to put on some toes, like a zigzag line. Then I'm going to join that back up, and if you see, you can see the shape of the foot. I'm going to cut that out. And to make these curve, you're going to do the same thing you did with the head. Make a little slit in the big round part, and cutting out the toes, it's easier to cut in and then take your scissors out, cut in like that, rather than turning that paper around. Now I'm going to make my little slit about, I don't know, longer than your fingernail for sure. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the leg. I'm going to put a dot of glue at the end, spread it out, and I'm going to crisscross right on top and hold it. Once I have that done, I can attach these legs. You can put them underneath. You can glue them, kind of bend them a little bit and glue them onto the side like this. And then when you're all done, you can decorate. Mine is a little bit old. This one's a little bit old. It got faded and bent. But I cut little strips of paper and attached them. I made polka dots using a hole punch, and I used some googly eyes, and I made teeth using a scrap of white paper. But you decorate it any way you like.